Hi guys, as you can see, everything is spinning, and if I look at the camera and not look at you, or if I look at the things around me, I'm going to get really dizzy. But actually, this is a metaphor for the times that we live in, that this feels like chaos. This feels like everything's going mad. This feels like everything is gonna fall over. And truthfully, I don't think that's gonna happen. Welcome to this week's conversation. Speak to you soon. Quick, while they're outside. I don't know how long I've got. There'll be some scratching at the door in a minute. I'm going to have to let them in. But I think, what I'm learning through this is that actually all of us are going to come at this in a different way. I'm loving the technology. I've already had so many meetings on Zoom and Skype and stuff. It's just fabulous. And Mother's Day, doing the same thing, having virtual meals, virtual conversations, using as far as possible the wonderful cameras, and really loving it. So I'm doing jigsaw puzzles with the grandchildren on the video, cooking so that all the family can watch, and we can watch on Zoom. You can see everybody's different screens and what they're doing. Virtually eating chocolate cake. Wonderful ideas there. Because I think we need to be careful about all the symptoms of becoming stir crazy. Absolutely. And I'm more likely, or as likely as anybody else, to become stir crazy. And stir crazy is this reference to what happened when people got stuck in prison. So I really would love to have conversations with you guys about what you're doing and looking at the symptoms of how we get stuck in this cabin fever, really. And it's so interesting. So apparently, according to my research, overeating, overindulging, binging on TV, it can be very extreme. Sadness, lethargy, depression, irritability, and restlessness. So, if you're stuck in with people you love, that's wonderful. Families are amazing, but they can really do your head in as well. We've had to let our 86-year-old, my 86-year-old father-in-law, because he needs to self-isolate. Thankfully, even with his broken hip, he's getting around, he's doing really well, and we're calling him quite often. He's not quite into the tech yet, so he's got an alarm. But it's about, as far as possible, keeping a routine, and getting up at the same time, creating a plan for yourself, giving yourself a structure. I think you need to understand your own signs about if you're getting depressed and getting down, and do something about it. As far as possible, food cravings. Oh yes, had them already. I think also the antidote in terms of what are we going to do when we recognise we're feeling like this. Everybody's going to have different responses, but what I'd truly like to say is listen to the silence. There's thousands of people online at the moment, but there are some people who you're not going to hear from. Can we notice the silence? Can we notice the gaps and get in touch? Notice the people who we haven't heard from. People like me are always going to be vocal, get out there and do something, but I've had a friend of mine who just popped into my head. I haven't heard from her for a couple of days. So I am going to go and get in touch. And I'm sure that you've got circles of relationships and friends that you too can get in touch with. We're going to be offering you an opportunity to copy out a contact sheet for your neighbours. If you haven't done it already, we would love for you to just get by and see if there's somebody elderly who you haven't met, or somebody younger, and you can have a conversation over the fence. Just because they're a grey-haired doesn't mean to say they've got nothing to contribute, and older people, don't think that just because they're younger they won't want to talk to you. So let's really start breaking down these things. The barriers. I'm just aware that people will be falling off the planet a bit, and especially if they don't have the tech or the capability to do tech. So even to do Zoom, you have to have the internet, you have to have a phone that works or a computer that works, like smartphone. There are some people who are not going to have that. And there are some people who we know who are just not even able to have electricity, etc. at the moment. So that's a bit dire. And that's now. It could get worse, guys. So let's remember the VUCA test and go through the thing and see what's applicable to you and how we're going to cope with the world as it is changing. I think we're going to have an online family game night, which is nice. We don't really binge TV, and in fact I'm quite tempted to, but I've got loads of stuff to do during the day. Taking the dogs out for a walk would be a good thing. They're obviously a bit excited. So there are lots of ways. I'd love to hear how you guys are overcoming all the issues and give us some advice so we can pass it on. But we're working with business leaders and talking to them about the just the massive challenges that they've got in their world at the moment. So if you've got anybody in your family who is running a business that has gone belly up, please get them to come online with me and connect, and we can have a conversation. We're going to be doing some campfires online because we really know that people need support and love at this time. So guys, thank you so much for listening. Sorry it's been a bit technical, but we need to be thinking differently and thinking powerfully about what to do differently in these days. Blessings to you all. Thank you so much for all your comments and likes and shares. It really, really does mean so much.